What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beyond the Bench podcast.
What's up,
We
guys?
are here today with our first episode with a guest. This is Nicola.
What's up, guys?
He is in our fantasy league, both of them, and we figured we'd just start having some guests on. And there's no one better than Nicola to have as our first guest.
He's our back home, one of our closest back home friends. So it's an honor to be with him today.
Also a champion.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
former
he's a
champion.
champion.
Yes, it's true.
There's only one person in here that's not been the champion, right, Nick?
What can I say? It's my year, guys. It's my year.
No, it's not. So we're gonna do the same thing that we always do. We have our waiver wires, and then we have buy low, sell high. So, Nick, you want to start with the waiver wires?
Sure. So it is Wednesday morning, so waiver wires already came through. But I will say the people that that I was looking at are I'll say my top three. It was Xavier Legette, Tutu Atwell, and Demario Douglas. So we saw Adam Thielen go on IR on Sunday with a hamstring injury, I think it was. So he's not going to be there for at least 4 weeks. I think they're going to ramp up Xavier Legette's production. I think they draft him in the first round. They're going to use him. So I think if he starts off slow, he'll start off slow. But I think by the second half of the season, at least by week 6 or 7, I think he'll be firmly in the wide receiver two slot.
Especially if Thielen stays out.
Exactly, yeah, because it's at least 4 weeks, so he could be out for longer than 4 weeks. Tutu Atwell I put on there just because while Cooper Kupp's out, this is kind of a short-term waiver wire pickup. He had almost 15 points on Sunday. He is, in my opinion, the wide receiver one on this team, both with Puka and Cooper Kupp out. So I think he's going to be reliable at least until Cooper Kupp comes back, but I think you can still see some production, not even waiting until Puka comes back. So, and then Demario Douglas, the Pats don't have a wide receiver. He's their best wide receiver. So he got, I think it was like 11 targets on Sunday.
He actually?
Yeah, so
Wow.
He may not be able to reproduce that every week, but if he's getting 11 targets, then that's a good sign.
Nicole, you have any waiver wire picks you want to talk about?
I have some underrated picks that I don't think many people will be looking forward to because obviously we know Malik Neighbors is going crazy. As Giants fans, we love it.
Mm-hmm.
But no one's talking about Wan'Dale Robinson, who's getting like 7 targets. I think he only had one game under 5. He had 12 targets one game.
He's absolutely right.
He might be 5'7". He might be on the Giants, but they're feeding him the ball. And we all know the name of the game for receivers is targets.
Yep.
And then this is a guy that I actually also picked up in our main league. And it's Adam Lazard. Now,
okay.
Adam Lazard
Mm-hmm.
is an interesting pick because he's not getting those targets. But guess what? He plays for Aaron Rodgers. And he's huge.
Yep.
And Aaron Rodgers loves finding him in the end zone. So 1 touchdown, you're getting 14 points on your flex spot. You're doing pretty good that week.
Yeah.
I actually think I was the one that dropped him in that league.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, is that in the money league, Nicola?
Yep.
Okay.
And guess what? I never look at waiver wire. Like I rarely go on it. But when I saw that, I was like, soup.
Yeah.
So those are 2 guys. Maybe Jacoby Meyer if you could scrap him off. Maybe if you have like an 8-man league, you could get Jacoby Meyer. He gets a lot of target shares.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Hopkins too, who just got like 10
I
targets.
feel like that's an interesting case because in the first week he did pretty well, and then the second week he did horribly. He got like 1.5 points off of like 1 target, and then in the second week he had like 15 points. So I really don't know because he's
weird.
So streaky. It's the same thing with Calvin Ridley. Both of those wide receivers are going to be so inconsistent and streaky.
I think if you're 0-3 or 1-2 and you really need someone off the bench that could give you 15 plus points, you're gonna have to take the pick on him and just hope to God that Will Levis figures out how to play QB.
Mm-hmm. Will Levis has turned into the biggest meme in football this year, and I love it.
I feel like he always finds a way to throw the worst pick you've ever seen.
Yeah, like one was like a shovel pass, and then you see him going.
Yeah. I want to say about Wan'Dale Robinson, I 100% agree. He has 1 game this season under 10 points, and it was 9.8, and he had a touchdown that game.
Really? Oh, damn.
Yeah. So
And he
Wando
plays for me.
Robinson's. Yeah, of course. A couple pickups I kind of want to talk about. I don't know. I don't think he's available in our league anymore. But Braylon Allen on the Jets,
I was actually trying to go for him.
his
But I don't think he was
attempts
available.
keep going up every game. First game, I believe he had like 3 or 4. Yeah, the first game he had 1. Against Tennessee, he had 7, and then this past week he had 11. So his targets keep going up. His receptions keep going up. He had 3 last game, 2 the game before. I know Breece Hall is the clear RB1 there, but I think they're going to start using Braylon Allen more in different scenarios.
Braylon Allen is going to turn into a Austin Eckler type back this year.
Like Austin Eckler for the Commanders?
Yeah, for the Commanders, because you have Brian Robinson, who is the clear back. But Austin Eckler has gotten over 10 points every single week. So I think Braylon Allen is going to be a guy that they can, like, they'll give the ball to on, like, first, second down, maybe, and then just dump the ball off him so he gets reception points. Like, that's a running back that you can put in your flex spot.
Yeah.
So
I also had Xavier Legette here, just because of Adam Thielen's injury.
Yeah.
And I feel like either of the two, him or Jonathan Mingo, either of these two Panthers wide receivers is going to be a good pickup.
It's hard to tell
least
which
for
one
now.
now, though, because either one of them could have dropped like a 25-point game this week, and it's really 50-50.
And then the next week it could be the other one, so it's
exactly,
not.
So.
And then I had a quarterback on my list. I actually have 2, but just injuries happen. You never know when you're going to need a quarterback. And Sam Darnold's available in a decent amount of leagues still. And he's been playing like he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
He's playing like he's going to win MVP this year.
I've told you this early on in the season. It's all about coaching.
Mm-hmm.
He needed the right coach, and I guess he found it. I also have Geno Smith on here. They're also undefeated. He's been playing.
That's crazy.
Right.
In that division,
But
the Seahawks are undefeated.
If you can find Sam Darnold, if you can grab him, get him.
Yeah. No, because he's getting like he's getting like 2-3 touchdowns like minimum, you know. And if Justin Jefferson is on the field, he's going to get points.
And
yeah, I love Sam Darnold.
He's QB4 right now.
He's QB4?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
He's going to be MVP.
That high.
And
the great thing about him is he's making Daniel Jones look better. Because when we lost to the Vikings, I genuinely thought, we're going to be the worst team in the league other than the Panthers. And as the weeks go by, it's looking like the Vikings are serious.
10 sacks on Sunday. So, I mean, hey.
They had 8
we
sacks
should have
Sunday,
beat the Commanders.
They should have beat the Commanders.
We should have beat the Commanders, yeah.
Brian DeBoll, he's playing Madden out there. I don't know what he's doing.
They missed. Jamie Gillen missed 1 extra point. Just keep doing it. You're not going to get the 2 point. So just why not try and kick it?
Yeah,
it's to be the same score either way if you miss.
I don't know.
Why not bring a kicker when you know your kicker's injured?
That too.
Is that not common sense?
Bro, sign Nicola to the practice squad.
Real. They used Jamie Gillen last year. He did fine. He misses one.
One of us should try to get on game day with Pat McAfee and try to kick a field goal.
You have to be one of my friend was telling me you have to be one of the first 100 people there.
Oh,
to
really?
be like signed up, and it's like random.
Yeah.
He was in South Carolina, so they had it there last week, 2 weeks ago.
Crazy.
Why did they not come in to Fordham?
They're real. I don't know.
Do we want to go trade targets?
Do you want to go buy lows first?
Yeah, we can do buy lows. So as we have more guests, it's going to be a little bit harder for me to strategize, right? Because we're all in the competitive league. So I'm just giving you guys info right now. But it's all right. My number 1 pick this week is Zay Flowers on buy low. And that is because – hold on.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But with people, if they're worried about his production, Lamar only passed the ball 15 times. That is the lowest he has, I think, definitely this season. I'm not sure last season. But he only passed the ball 15 times compared to 41 in week 1 and 34 in week 2. That's that's more than half.
Mm-hmm.
So if their coaching staff wants to start using Derrick Henry more, which I don't know if it's a fluke game that they only passed the ball 15 times or if they're leaning towards the run more. If Zay Flowers, I put him on the list if he continues. If it's just a fluke game, then you can't buy him low. But if he continues, then buy him low. Because if this is the trend that they're leaning in, then people are going to panic and want to try to sell him.
So one thing I want to say about Zay Flowers, I know I have him on my team, but if you look, I think it was more the fact that the Cowboys have literally one of, if not the worst run defense in the league right now.
Yeah.
So I think the Ravens tried to take advantage of that.
That's what I was saying. I think it was. I don't think it was a trend. I think it was a fluke game. But I just put.
If you look at Zay Flowers' targets this season, week 1 he had 10, week 2 he had 11, and week 3 he had 4.
Yeah.
So I think it was just kind of the defense they were playing.
Yeah.
And I think we'll definitely hopefully see the difference against the Bills this week because their defense is a lot better than the Cowboys, at least this season.
Two of the guys that, or one of the guys that I think people are panicking a little bit about is Mike Evans because he's gotten below 10 points in the past 2 weeks. I will say he did extremely well week 1, but if you look at his stats on week 1, he had 2 touchdowns, so that's already 12 points. He was like, if he didn't get those 2 touchdowns, he only would have ended with like 10 points. He is very, 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 very touchdown dependent, it seems, this year. If he's not getting a touchdown, he's not getting above 10 points. I think they're starting to lean on Chris Godwin to get the ball more because he's younger. But if people are panicking and you want to try to get Mike Evans, then this is like the perfect time to get him. Because Baker Mayfield is just slinging the ball.
I also think that it's still, until I see otherwise, I still think he's going to consistently get 1,000 yards in a season.
Oh, yeah, no.
And he's always going to be a good wide receiver to have. He's also on my list for the buy lows.
Okay, yeah. Last guy I want to talk about. Sorry.
No, you could go.
No, please.
My buy low, Christian mentioned the run game of the Cowboys, which they have no run defense. And guess who's playing the Cowboys this week? Actually, tomorrow. Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary.
Wait,
if you guys can get your hands on Devin Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
If you guys can get your hands on Devin Singletary, if the Giants actually play the game how it should be and run down the Cowboys instead of throwing, like 40 times a game, he's going to have over 100 yards because these guys can't stop me out there. And they're definitely not going to stop Devin Singletary. His only problem is he fumbled 2 weeks in a row. Who cares? That'll stop. And another thing.
I think that also means Daniel Jones is going to have a big rushing game too.
Yes.
If they can, yeah. Because Lamar Jackson had a huge rushing game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Even though Daniel Jones has a problem of going laterally, just run through the middle.
Not around the side.
It's a big statement game for the Giants. If they could win this, this changes everything in the East.
They can, because if they win, wouldn't they be tied for first with the Commanders?
If the Commanders and Eagles lose.
Yeah.
But the Commanders will still be ahead because
they beat us.
Giants.
Yeah. That might be, Brian DeBoer may have sold the season with that one.
Yeah.
It's not even Dable, bro. We were the first team to score 3 touchdowns, not allow a single one, and lose off of 7 field goals.
Commanders played the Cardinals.
No kicker. What?
The Commanders played the Cardinals, so I honestly could see that game going either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison, start connecting,
that
it might
Marvin Kyler Murray connection has been looking pretty good so far.
Yeah.
So.
Not better than Neighbors and Jones.
Marv on draft day finally.
He's right.
What happened?
It's not as good as Neighbors and Jones.
No, he's not.
No.
Maybe just I don't like Jones. I really don't.
You know what's another connection that no one is ever talking about? Christian Kirk and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, no one's talking about it because he's been asked this year.
Just wait. Christian Kirk has helped me win a 6-man league, right? If he can help me win a 6-man league, he can win a 10-man league. right?
He had
He
8
has been
receptions yesterday.
trash.
He had what?
He has been trash these first 2 weeks, and he popped off last game,
He had 8
week 3.
receptions.
8
Yep.
receptions. Damn.
No one's looking at him. Go and buy him for literally trade, some potato chips over there. Get Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Because when Doug Peterson takes control of this offense, because he's not the play caller right now, it's that OC they have. I forgot his name. That guy
The
doesn't
guy
know what
with
he's
the
doing.
mustache.
Yeah, once Doug Peterson takes control and he lets Trevor Lawrence actually start running a actually good offense, guess who's playing the slot? Is Christian Kirk, and he's going to get you 15 points a week.
Definitely. No, I was last year technically his breakout year, quote unquote, because he was really good last year.
It was the year that he got signed. So whenever he got signed for those like 20 million plus, I think it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Might have been. It was something like that.
Yeah. He's not giving you 20 a game. He's giving you 13, 15.
I mean, if he gets a touchdown, but the thing is, like I do agree with what you're saying, but the Jags' offense this year has been abysmal. So I don't.
That's where Doug Peterson comes in. You just got to wait for that week 7 switch when he's like, all right, get out of here. We're like 0-6.
That's the thing. You need to look at late season like trades because you can afford to lose a couple games early. It's what you want your team past like week 7, week 8 to be hot. Like that's when like the rebuild needs to be completed.
For example, my team, I'm waiting for Christian McCaffrey to come back.
I don't know if he's going to come back, but he's in Germany right now with a specialist.
That's the problem. And I'm 2-1. I'm doing good. I'm competing. But if I have Christian McCaffrey, I'm blowing some of these guys out.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like Colin Montana, he beat me. He should be done right now. I should be undefeated right now if I had Christian McCaffrey.
He only beat you by like 5 points too.
Exactly. Yeah. So imagine if I had the 25 from Christian. But also another guy who everyone's dumping on, except for the female fans in the NFL, is Travis Kelce. Guys, if you can somehow slime Travis Kelce on your team, anytime during the season, you got to think, like, people are going to get injured on that team. They might not have Rashee Rice. They might not have Xavier Worthy. The target share is going to go back to Travis Kelce. When times get tough, Travis Kelce's numbers get called. And he's a touchdown machine. He's a yak machine. He's everything. You just got to wait. It's an investment.
They even said after the game, Mahomes was like, we're trying to get the ball to Patrick, but these teams are putting him in like double or triple coverage. So we just we're giving him plays. So if that's true, then yeah.
I think it's only a matter of time before he finally breaks out of this.
Yeah, I mean, how old is he though? He's like 31.
31 maybe.
So
31. I think he's older than that. I think he's like 34.
Is he? Oh yeah, he is 34.
Yeah.
He's 34?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because Taylor Swift's like 32. Something like that. 31. Yeah.
Should we go sell highs?
I have 1 or 2 more. So I obviously have Mike Evans for my buy lows.
Okay.
There's a couple guys. Sticking with the tight end theme, Sam Laporta. Now, I know he's on my team, but he's just looked terrible.
So, Christian, can I get Sam Laporta?
No. He's just looked terrible this year. But I feel like he was looking good in that game against Arizona.
And then he got hurt. Yeah.
So I think what I think they're going to do is not play him this week because they have a bye the week after. If you're able to get him in one of those 2 weeks, I think after the bye he's going to pick it back up. He's going to start doing what he was doing last year.
Yeah.
I think the whole Lions team's kind of a little weird right now. Like, they're not looking as good as they were, but like they're showing it a little bit. So I think it's only really a matter of time before they find their pace again.
No, definitely.
And then one other guy I wanted to talk about, also on my team, Josh Jacobs. He had 5.8 points this week. He hasn't really had an insane game, but I really think he needs a touchdown. Like, that's all it is. He hasn't
gotten touchdowns. He's gotten yardage and he's gotten carries. But
he had 151 yards against the Colts and only had 13 points.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
He had 84 against the Eagles. He had 12 points. So he's going to be a good guy to keep on your team, maybe in a flex spot. And then once he gets that touchdown, his points will skyrocket.
Yeah. No, definitely.
But yeah, so that's my buy lows. Ramondre Stevenson's another one I was thinking of, but
can't really buy low if you just had one fluke game. You can try.
I don't know. I
If
feel
people
like
are panicking, you
he's
can try.
depends on who has him in your league. And sell highs.
So sell highs, top 3 or top 2 right off the bat. Zach Charbonnet and Juwan Jennings. Kenneth Walker is coming back this week, so Zach Charbonnet is going to go back to RB2. And when Kenneth Walker was playing, he was a bell cow. He was getting every single touch. Zach Charbonnet didn't touch the ball when he was playing. So I think sell high on Jack Charbonnet to somebody who is not really aware of that situation.
Not tapped in.
Huh?
Not tapped in.
Not
Someone that's
locked.
not tapped in.
The guy's not locked. And then Juwan Jennings, because people are going to see that 46.5 point game and be like, holy shit, I need him on my team. But no, the Debo's only going to be out for another max 3 weeks, maybe 1 to 2 weeks. So he's not going to see that production again. He may get 15 points this week. He's not getting 46. So if you can sell him on like a major high, maybe get like a flex or, a decent flex play, I think that's your best shot.
I was also going to say try and sell him if you want to get rid of him. Try and give him to the guy that has Debo, because I feel like he's going to be more likely to accept it because he's like, oh, so I have this production, and then when Debo's back, I get the production either way.
That's true.
So I think you could try. That's a good strategy with Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, some sell highs. I will say if I'm a Zahir White owner, wait for one good game and get him the hell out of there.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. I would
do not trust any Raiders players.
Yeah.
Same thing with Devontae Adams. The only guy I trust is Jacoby Meyer because he's not a starter. You put him on the flex, you get 10 points out of him, and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're starting anyone on the Raiders offense, you're not winning a league in my books.
Yeah.
Another guy would be
so touchdown dependent.
Madison?
That's a problem with the problem with the NFL right now is the defenses are so much better than the offense.
Yeah.
And they're cutting down the yardage, and now it's all just either touchdown or bust. There's really no room there for a back in the day, Alvin Kamara used to be a yak or not really yak. He used to catch the ball too, but he was a yards demon before he.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have him back when he was dropping 40 a week, and guess what? They would sub Taysom Hill, the terrorist, or Levante Murray in, and they would let them get the touchdown after Kamara ran 48 yards to get there to the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sell Kamara at all. I think he's going to be amazing.
Kamara's going to be great this year.
I don't know about what's the receiver's name. That's not Olave. The
Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, I'm not really. I think the league kind of figured out that they're going to run that post every single play with him.
They realized it the week I started him too.
Yeah, that's also the thing with him. He only runs one route, and that's a deep ball. So if they put coverage on him, he's really.
If you have the flexibility on your team, I have enough people that I could lose a Shaheed for someone else. Mm-hmm. I would sell him high. I would sell Marvin Harrison, and that's a hot take. I just the thing about the Cardinals. Let's look at their history. They always have good weeks, and then they just never do anything. When's the last time you've seen a player other than James Conner, who's let me really get this Cardinals player on my team, this guy, maybe Hopkins back 3 years ago, So I would also sell Marvin Harrison too, for someone that's way more I would sell him for Malik Neighbors straight up.
Yeah,
if that's even possible.
I agree.
I mean, if Malik Neighbors continues to get the receptions and targets, then fuck yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Frank, yeah. Christian, bleep that out.
I think Malik Neighbors is so much. He's one of those guys who's always open.
Yeah, he's fine.
You can throw him. I feel like Harrison is a guy where you have to find him deep. You have to find him in space. It's a way different type of receiver.
I think that was also the issue in week 1 with Harrison because, everybody knows, he got 1.4 points. Murray just did not throw to him. So I don't know.
Had no targets.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that's a horrible take, but I do think that I don't think that Marvin Harrison's production is going to slow down too much just because their wide receiver 2 is Greg Dortch. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a couple. I have 3, same as the last one. First one I wanted to talk about is J.K. Dobbins.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really have that good of a week this week, but it's only I think that's just kind of a fluke. He'll have another couple good games, but it's only a matter of time before he gets injured. He's gotten injured in each of the last 2 or 3 seasons.
I think every single season.
They have 2 running backs in the backfield. Eventually, the target share is going to flip.
Yeah.
I think it's only a matter of time before he starts slowing down his production. We might have even seen it this week.
I completely agree with that. J.K. Dobbins has had a history of being made of glass. So
Chuba Hubbard is another one. He had, I think, 24 points this week.
yeah, that was crazy.
Definitely sell him on a high. I don't think he's going to be doing that again. I think he's going to be a serviceable flex, maybe, but definitely not 24 points. He's projected 14. I don't think that's going to happen. He had 11 week 2 and 1 week 1. I just don't think. And he had 5 receptions this week. So I don't know if he's going to be catching the ball that much. Receiving touchdown. It's just kind of, he's a weird player to like be consistently getting 15 points a game. Like it looks like ESPN thinks he's going to.
Yeah.
So I'd sell him while you can. And then my final one is Amari Cooper, which is kind of the same. He doesn't have a quarterback right now. Deshaun Watson does not look good.
Horribly.
I honestly think Jameis Winston would be better than Deshaun Watson right now. And Amari Cooper had 27 points this week against the Giants, which is also something to take into account. It was against the Giants secondary. So I would definitely sell him. You could definitely get a high flex option for that. Maybe even a wide receiver too, depending on who you're going to trade with. But yeah, I think Chuba Hubbard is my list. Is like the main one. Like get him out. Like he's not going to continue to do what he's been doing.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You bring up something really important with the Cleveland Browns that I think this is what really separates fantasy champions and fantasy challengers. It's when you're getting players, you have to think about their teams as if it's like a marriage, right? If you're in an unstable relationship, aka the Browns, the Panthers, even the Cardinals, I would put there. Mm-hmm. You know, the Broncos, these teams where you don't know what the hell is going to happen next week. Who's going to get the ball? Who's getting the target share? Who's even going to be the coach on some of these teams?
Right.
If they do well, get them the hell out. Like, we know Deontay Johnson is not a fantasy winner, right? Now, he had how many points last
24.
week? 24 points.
I had him on my team.
Now, maybe, we brought it up earlier, maybe he's going to continue getting those points. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good receiver. Maybe it's going to go to someone else. I would rather sell him high and get, someone who's really consistent in getting points. A.K. Malik Neighbors. A.K. someone who, Rashee Rice, if you can manage that trade, that's you might have to put some other things in that trade. But switching out these players in unstable situations for these guys who are staples in their league. I won our first, before it was actually for money, ironically. Mm-hmm. But it was all through David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift. Why? Because they got touchdowns and they got like 10 yards or 10 carries a game, but they got touchdowns. Yeah. They got their yardage, and I was stable every week. 15 points, 15 points, 50 points. That's how you have to think about this.
Deontay Johnson's projected 15 points this week. There's no way.
I don't think so. But like, I also
They're still the Panthers.
It's still the Panthers.
And who they play?
They played Vegas this past week. The Raiders.
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on. They're not doing this to my Giants on week 10. Just know that. In Germany, too.
In Germany.
Yeah, in Germany, bro. That's a crazy game.
Imagine it's like they're both like actually like somewhat good teams at that point.
Amazing, yeah.
I wouldn't say amazing.
I was actually a Bryce Young. I wanted to trade for Bryce Young a week ago.
Really?
Really?
I thought, think about it. It's Carolina. Everything's bad down there. If we could get Bryce Young for Jones, but now Jones is looking actually serviceable, and I think the Giants are actually changing up. I still would trade for Bryce Young because I think he has something that 90% of quarterbacks don't have is a brain, and I think what he has is a confidence issue. I think he could be like a Geno Smith. Like you could just switch him around.
Yeah.
I also think that it goes back to my argument before that it's all about coaching. Yeah, whoever this guy that they brought into Carolina doesn't seem like he's going to be good at coaching a rookie quarterback. There's very few coaches in the league, I think, that can coach and help a rookie quarterback.
I think the Bull is one of them.
I was going to say that. I think he is one of them. He turned Daniel Jones around that last season or 2 seasons ago. Obviously, didn't work out last year, but he got hurt.
No, that was
Yeah.
also because he was injured for most of it.
And I also think the Giants, we're lacking in the trenches. There's something when you watch like the Bills play the Dolphins. Is it really because are they smacking the Dolphins because they're just so much better on paper? Because they're really not better on paper at all.
No, they're
No.
not.
There's something either systematically wrong or the GM is getting these players off of Indeed or something.
Mhm.
I don't know where the hell. Like, there's something in that. We always focus on like the top 10 players of a team. There's 40 other guys there that we're not seeing that are coming into the rotation that are getting whooped up.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the difference between the Cowboys and the Giants is their 53 are just so much higher level than our 53.
Yeah.
And that's on coaching, that's on GMs. I also think, the Vikings are pure coaching.
Yep.
And we always talk about Kevin O'Connell because of what he did with Sam Darnold. Bro, Brian Flores is running the best defense in the league. We're watching Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy. They can't break this down at all. They have no idea what's going on in that field.
Yep.
He's running Tampa out of cover one looks. It's disgusting out there.
It's insane.
And I don't blame Daniel Jones for not being able to throw a touchdown on it. It's disgusting what he's doing.
Which once again gives me hope for Daniel Jones this year.
Yes. Oh, and Mike Zimmer should be fired off of the Cowboys because he's doing the opposite of Brian Flores. If Brian Flores was running that Cowboys defense, they'd be, oh my God.
They'd
be amazing.
Yeah. And that's why also, last point is, if DeBoer does get sacked this season, I want Bill Belichick on my team. And a lot of Giants fans don't want that. I say, bro, give me Bill Belichick and let him get us right.
He won a championship with the Giants. 86, defensive coordinator Bill Belichick.
He loves the Giants. Just listen to what Edelman and they have to say. He loves the Giants. He circles the game. He loves us. He's going to be our next coach.
Yep. All right, I think that's it this week for our episode. Our first episode with a guest. I think it went great.
Thank you, Nicole, for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Of course. And I think we will start doing this more with guests.
Definitely. This is fun.
But for now, like I said last week, if any big trades happen, Instagram, TikTok, we'll update you. And we'll see you next week for week 4.
Have a good week, guys.
Peace.